Across this great nation, there is a culture of people who carry on a heritage. They have an intangible quality that can't be described, but it comes from deep within their hearts. They share an appreciation for the greatest things that come from Mother Earth. They watch over, understand, and care for the vast wilds of this great country. Fishing, hunting, and trapping are the foundations that Canada was built on. For over 2 centuries, we have taken to the woods and water to pursue wild game. Today, it's about conservation, preservation, and wildlife management. Whether you are a man or woman, fish or hunt, you should support sound wildlife management and proudly say, I am an angler and hunter. The Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters proudly presents Angler and Hunter Television. Brought to you by Canadian Tire, Nikon Sport Optics, Mercury Marine and Lund Boats, Yamaha ATVs, Browning Ammunition, Browning Firearms, Suffix Fishing Line, Rapala, Camillus Knives and Cuda Tools, Excalibur Crossbows, and Yukon Gear.
When you watch turkey hunting on TV, it must seem like a pretty simple thing to do. Hide in the woods, make a few calls, and shoot a gobbler when it walks out. Wow, man! Oh, that's a good heavy bird. What a Saturday. Well, this dawned on me last spring while I was sitting, enjoying the silence that is turkey hunting. You see, it's much more than what it seems to be. And in fact, turkey hunting can be one of the most relaxing outdoor activities one can experience. I dare say, it can be good for the soul. Sure, getting up hours before daylight and riding an ATV into the woods might seem crazy. But once you find your spot and you're all set up, you actually watch the world come to life. If you're in the right spot, you can often hear gobblers and hens communicating and getting ready to fly down from the roost, which will surely get you motivated. But usually for me, it's the sunrise. Something about watching things go from slate gray to vivid color makes me realize how lucky I am to be able to venture into the woods and witness such spectacular things. Now, in a perfect world, I would make a few calls, get a response, and have a gobbler working his way towards me. But more often than not, there's nothing but silence. With a keen eye and a good pair of binoculars, there is so much to see. Like the fact that I'm usually not the only predator watching the field. Birds of prey perched in the tree line, and the wily coyote falling victim to my decoy spread are often sights I see when waiting for a turkey to show itself. Spring often has white-tailed does and newly born fawns acting curious, which can result in some up-close encounters. This is great. As will often be the case with hens, as they weave in and out of the field edge, often walking within feet of my blind. A silent morning in the field can be just what the doctor ordered. And recharge your spirit after a long winter. But the silence can also mean that gobblers are on the prowl.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television brought to you by Yamaha ATVs.
So the first thing you want to do before you go turkey hunting is pattern your shotgun. A lot of people think it's not that important, but it is very important. Your shot comes out on a string, they call it. A lot of people think if you're shooting a shotgun, pellets just scatter out of the end of the barrel, but it's actually on a very tight string. So patterning your shotgun is important because it's almost going to be like shooting a single projectile. So the shot's in a wadding, and when you shoot it out, the wadding actually travels almost the distance to your turkey. So it's a real tight pattern, as you can see. The ideal range to take a shot at a turkey is 15 to 40 yards, depending on your shotgun and choke setup and the ammunition you're using. So I'm going to sight in here at 20 yards. So I'll just range here. I'll bang on 20 yards. So now what I know here is when I shoot this first shot, I'm going to know how tight my pattern is. And then what I'll probably do is take another shot out at 40 yards just to make sure that I've got a tight pattern. And if you do take that shot at 40 yards and you don't have a tight pattern, I don't recommend you try and shoot at a turkey at that distance. But if you're using good ammunition, and this is my first time using the new BXD ammo, this turkey load is supposed to be really effective. So we're going to give it a try here, see what happens, check my shot string out, and then I'll know where my comfortable distance is to shoot at a turkey. So I'm shooting a Browning A5. It's an auto loader. It's got a 26-inch barrel with a full choke. So for the most part, all you need is a full choke. Now you can buy turkey chokes, but with the new ammunition today, it's literally overkill. So you put your shell in, make sure your safety's on, and then I'm gonna rest this so I'm stable. And then when you're looking down the barrel, you wanna be flat, and I've got a white bead at the front, and then I've got a fiber optic orange bead at the end. You don't want to bury the orange bead behind the white bead. You want to see it just on top of that white bead, and they have to be in line. The white bead's there to make sure your left and right is okay. Now, when I say aim, a lot of people are going to say, well, don't you just point and shoot with the shotgun? No, you're actually aiming because you're going to see how tight the pattern is on this shotgun. So you want to aim just below the head of the turkey, in the neck area, basically, so that there's a little bit of allowance up and down. So these are 3-inch shells. They're 1 5/8 ounce, so they pack a bit of a punch, and it's a number 5 shot. I like to use number 5. They're heavier pellets. You get a good amount of pellets in there, and I've had a lot of success with it. Other than that, you just got to pull the trigger and find out how you're shooting. So here we go. I'd say that's a pretty tight pattern. I shot to the right there. Now you know what I mean. I actually shot to the right. Now at 20 yards, that's a dead turkey. But let's go have a look at that target. Wow. But I mean, evidently I'm not going to count them. There's probably 50 pellets in that area. But here, that's where my wadding would have hit and my main shot string was. I shot to the right. And that happens. When you're shooting a heavy load like that, you can flinch. And that flinch will cause a little bit of variance. And that's why when you get out to 30 and 40 yards, you want to make sure you know the pattern of your gun. And I'm going to shoot one at 40, but I can confidently say with that tight pattern at 40 yards, even if it doubles that spread, I'm still going to have an effective shot here, because look at all the pellets. All these pellets here hit that bird. And then these ones here would have all broken his neck. I mean, it's very effective. And I shot to the right. High and right, isn't that what they tell you?
Since 1928, the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters has been a leader in conservation. For the past 25 years, Angler and Hunter Television has been bringing the OFAH conservation message to millions of viewers to conserve and protect our great outdoors. Many U.S. states have enjoyed mourning dove hunts for decades, some harvesting birds from the same migratory population that breeds right here in Ontario. Because of this and the substantial increase of the mourning dove population and distribution in Ontario, the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters began pushing for a mourning dove season in the early 2000s. Thanks to the efforts of the OFAH and hunters in the province, Ontario implemented a hunting season in 2013. Dove hunting provides Ontarians with another great outdoor opportunity, which supports the economy and migratory bird management through license sales. Angler and Hunter Television is proud to bring the OFAH message of conservation and passion for the outdoors to viewers around the world, sharing the traditions of hunting, fishing, and trapping.
This portion of Angler and Hunter Television brought to you by Minn Kota and Humminbird.
Okay, we're all settled in. I'm going to be using the new Browning BXD. It's a 3-inch 1 5/8 ounce shot. And you saw me patterning this shotgun earlier. I know exactly what to expect from this ammunition now. And all I need is a bird really to make it happen. So I'm going to load the gun and I'll start calling. Good to go. Gobble, but it's real faint. It's so cold and windy today. Like I can see my breath. I just don't know. I heard a couple gobbles early, and haven't heard anything in quite some time except for that faint gobble there. I'm gonna give it one more hit here. If I can get it to gobble, maybe I'll sit it out, but I don't know. Once a gobbler pairs up and finds a group of hens, he will tend to them and often become unresponsive to calls. But for those toms that have struck out or are looking to pick a fight, well, they often don't make a sound. So when a lone hen does make an appearance, sometimes it's best to just be silent and wait and see if she has any admirers. I take a bearded hen at this point in time. Okay, we got two gobblers just came in the field. Incredible, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. That hen is standing right out of my decoys. And these two bad boys are coming down the field. Okay. It's been a long morning. Things are starting to come together here. I'm shaking, but it doesn't matter. This thing stabilized. I'm excited. 92 yards away. Come on. She's leaving. Oh, here they come now. They're on a road. There we go. There's two twins coming in. I'm gonna get to do this. Holy, I'm breathing heavy.
The Hunting Edge is brought to you by Browning Ammunition,
To get the edge over the gobblers, I spotted them with a pair of Nikon Monarch 5 binoculars. Once in range, my Browning A5 with a full choke, loaded with Browning turkey load, made short work of the first one to stick its head out. Finally, a Camillus knife made for a quick field dressing, and I was on my Yamaha headed back to the truck after a great day in the field.
There's two twins coming in. I'm gonna get to do this. Holy, I'm breathing heavy. Wicked. Oh my gosh. Wow. Stone cold stopped him. Holy cow. Man, that right there is what did the trick. Incredible. Yes. I did it. I patterned that. I got these decoys out at 20 yards. He came in there, and I knew I'm gonna have a real tight spread. They separated, and I was gonna let him see if he'd fight and kick and take a shot at my decoy, but it was just too. Turkey hunting is so incredible. I've been sitting here for 3 hours, almost 4 hours. And I heard gobbling early, nothing. And then this hen came down and she came through. And 5 minutes later, those two big boys showed up on the hill, came down, and it's game on. I'm going to get that bird. I'm going to get my hands on that bird. Oh, boy. Oh, yes. Oh. I can't express how amazing this is. I was almost going to go home. 9 in the morning, nothing much has been going on. Wicked. Oh, look at this. Big giant spurs. Look at those spurs. Inch long. Heavy spurs. Great looking bird and a nice beard. I can't tell you how wonderful this feels to tag out. I just the only thing I wish is I could have had August here with me. She loves turkey hunting, and she hasn't been here for me to harvest one. She's seen a few and been up close to a few, but sooner or later my little girl will be with me for one of these. But tag time. So impressed with the Browning ammo, you know. Just started using it, and all I can say is, wow, this turkey didn't go anywhere. And I mean, I'm close to the blind. It's 20 yards, and that pattern was so tight that I just stone cold dropped him. I was calling a lot there, and I had some gobbles early in the morning, but very faint, nothing going on. And I actually got out of my blind and stretched at about 8:30 and spotted a hen in behind us here. And it kind of ran away, and then half an hour later, a hen showed up on the hill here. She worked her way down this field right into the decoys, and just like clockwork behind her, these two big boys came out, and I got to take one of them. That right there is awesome. What a morning.
Closed captioning of Angler and Hunter Television is brought to you in part by Ontario Out of Doors Magazine. Angler and Hunter Television has been brought to you by Canadian Tire, Nikon Sport Optics, Mercury Marine and Lund Boats, Yamaha ATVs, Browning Ammunition, Browning Firearms, Suffix Fishing Line, Rapala, Camillus Knives and Cuda Tools, Excalibur Crossbows, and Yukon Gear. For more information on the products used in this episode of Angler and Hunter Television, visit ahtv.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Remember, conserve and protect our great outdoors.